everybody, and welcome to today's diamond painting show. In today's show, we are going to be talking about our preferred tools and the difference between block colouring and confetti. So I will introduce our other host. Here's Penny.
Hello, everybody. So, do you like my new channel name? I love it. So, big thank you to Mark's Mods for helping me with the graphics. I really appreciate that. I can't thank him enough. So, how did that go for you then, Mrs. Crafter?
That was very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, we're both still very nervous, but we're relaxing. By the time we get to, I don't know, show 121, I think we'll be all right.
Yes.
So
my stomach's turning knots, I can't tell you.
Don't worry about it, because I think we have audience members who would tell us if we were not very good, and no one's told us it was terrible, so we can't be doing too bad a job.
No.
So we have one comment. Also, sorry, I forgot to add, we are trying out a dual stream, and I can already see names that I don't recognize, so I'm assuming they're coming from Yorkshire Crafter's channel, which is fantastic. So we're actually doing a dual stream. This is going on my channel and Yorkshire Crafter's channel both simultaneously, because obviously we both have subscribers that don't subscribe, they subscribe to one channel or the other. So we're just trying to sort of get this out to a bigger audience. So we have a long lost friend of mine, Harvey De Niro. Hi Penny, long time no see. You've changed your channel name. No wonder I could not find you. I think you can. I think if you search, I was doing it last week. If you search Paint with Penny, it still comes up with my videos. But mainly because I put Paint with Penny in my tags. And for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting Penelope's Pit Stop and Paint with Penny in my tags, just so that there's a bit of a crossover. So we have a name that I don't recognize. Very happy to see you. Diamond Painting with Nicole M. She says hi.
Hello.
And we have Queen of Diamonds Rosebud.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that name before. But she says, hello, Penny and Julie. Hope you're both well. We are now. With comments like that, we are over the moon.
Yeah.
So, right, shall we make a start? So the first thing we wanted to bring up, or you wanted to bring up as well, was our equipment.
Yes.
So obviously with the first two shows, we've started off with the painting that we got from Amazon, and that's all we used. I've built up to these very basic drill storage boxes. Obviously there's too many for one, so I've had to get two. How are you storing your drills?
Still in these little containers.
Right.
Put them into containers.
Are they the Tic Tac ones?
Yeah.
See, I do actually use the Tic Tac ones, and I love them. I know some people don't like them because they don't close. Sometimes they pop open a little bit. Having said that, obviously I am actually at a higher level than we're going for this show with, if that makes sense. And I'm planning on doing lots of customs, which means I need larger amounts of each color. So I'm actually going with these big pots. But that's not relevant to these shows, because obviously we'll get what we need. And these small ones that they fit into a tiny square. So obviously we're talking about preferred methods and actual methods, but obviously you need to go with the methods that work for you. If you are filthy rich, which I'm not, you can go for these, the Elizabeth Ward ones. We've shown them twice before, and they're these really good containers, and they really are superb. But you only get, I think they're like 50 odd quid. Although I hear there's a version on AliExpress. I forget how to pronounce it now. Huracan hurricane,
Can.
something like that. And they're basically, it's only a matter of time. Something good, really good comes out. The Chinese copy it. So yeah, that's come out. So what else do you use?
Right. So, first of all, this is my diamond painting pen. And
Right.
I bought it off a company on Facebook. Oh, for the life of me, I've forgotten. Oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now it's gone.
Well, stick your tongue out. Let's have a look. Okay, if it comes to you, pop it in the comments.
I will.
And I might remember to edit the description later on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So is that one of those resin hand turned polished ones then?
is.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about them. I know Rachel Ray goes on about hers and how she loves it. But
Rich
the colours
Craft.
look. Who?
Rich Craft on Facebook.
Rich Craft.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just write that into the comment. Rich, is that one word or two?
Two.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've the way that StreamYard works, because I've selected both channels, it actually looks like Yorkshire Crafter's written it on her channel, but that was me.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're watching both channels, which I doubt anybody is, because that would just be a waste of bandwidth, you would see the same comment came up. But I'm probably over explaining it. Right. So
Sorry,
my pen
commented.
is not. Yeah. Do you want to catch up on the comments?
Yeah.
So we have Christine Say, hi Julian Penny.
Yeah.
We have Harvey De Niro again. Glad to see you all okay. And again, hi Crafter.
Hello.
Now I'm going to make a hash of this. Danielle Bordereau. I'm really sorry if I got that wrong. I made the effort, but I don't always get it right. But she says, I'm going to guess you're American because you've said good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. It's funny. I don't like that, but when an American says it, it's fine because obviously it's words I say coming from Norfolk that annoy the hell out of people. But if I hear a non-American say it, I'm just like, shut up. So Mark's mods beat us to it and said Richcraft. Yeah. And then obviously me pretending to be Yorkshire Crafter has said Richcraft on Facebook, and then me pretending to be me has said it on my channel as well. Yeah. So my pen's a little bit different. I absolutely love it, but it's not without its problems. And that is Pick Me Up. And the way that this works, instead of having wax in it, it has a big reservoir of. It originally comes with some kind of tack, but mine's run out and I've refilled it with blue tack. And I don't know if you can see, there's a screw thread there with a little plunger. And then what you do is you screw it and you screw it a little tiny bit more. In fact, let's go for it. If you screw it, there you go. The blue tack comes out at the end. Yes. And that's what your little sticky bit is. And now I've got a set. It takes me ages to sort this out. Because the blue tack comes out slowly. So because it's really thick and hard, if you squeeze it too much, it just keeps coming out. Yeah. So, right. But I say it's not without its problems. Another term I've learned here, ghost drilling. Hang on a sec. I told you my phone would go off, didn't I?
You did.
The dark side.
That was actually work, but I love modern mobile phones where you can set special ringtones for people. So I have a special ringtone for work, and it's actually Darth Vader saying, beware, the dark side is calling, which I thought was quite appropriate for my boss. Anyway, he's being ignored for this next hour. No, I'll ring him back after the stream. I forgot what I was saying now. So we've got, so ghost drilling. When you go to pick up a drill and you think you've picked a drill up, but you actually haven't, You then, because you're doing everything in one motion, you then touch the sticky canvas with the blue tack, and you end up with a nice little bit of mozzarella cheese. Go, so that is the problem with blue tack. And because this has got quite a wide nib, you can actually, even if you look at it, you can't always tell if you've picked the drill up. But it's an endless supply. This, I think, last time I was doing diamond painting every spare second I had for about 3 weeks, and it lasted a good 3 weeks. So that's why I like it. No fiddling around with the wax, and I know this pink wax isn't as good as I've heard paddy wax. And diamond pipe. So I'm going to skip a few comments. Queen of Diamonds Rosebud says, I love the pick me up. On the other end is a sharp point that come out to reveal a tiny straightener. Yeah, that was, I didn't quite get that far, but yeah, there's a little straightener there. Although I will be honest with you, I might spark the tweezers for drilling or picking up debate, but I use the tweezers. I do. If it hasn't quite gone in straight and I can't manipulate it, I will grab the tweezers and I will pull the whole diamond out and I will just go for it again. I know some people diamond paint with tweezers, which I've not done it myself, and I find it slightly odd. Doesn't mean that they're wrong and I'm right. But I found the method I like, you found the method you like, and that's the method for us, which obviously brings us on to tweezers, doesn't it? Because there is an alternative method of diamond painting. You will please forgive me for the background. From next week, I shouldn't be buying things now. I'm actually doing a house move. Where I am now. From next week, I'm going to be moving in here permanently. And I really need the money for things like van hire and petrol and all the bad things that go with moving. And yes, it's extremely stressful, far more than I thought. And I've just spent money on a makeshift green screen. I'm very much, oh, that's expensive, I can make that cheaper kind of a person. And I found a green screen. Well, actually, Build with Adrian found me a really nice green screen, but it's like 70, 80 pounds. So we had a little look around, and I've now found a closed rail for 12 pounds, a bed sheet for 7 pounds, and some clamps. So I've saved about 50 quid. So I'll just pick up on the comments. Queen of Diamonds Rosebud has said, be right back, which is obviously an old message because she has come back. Steve Owen says, hello, thumbs up.
Hi, Steve.
Build with Adrian. Hi, all. I am on Julie. We know what you mean, Adrian.
Oh, dear.
Love Minnie says, morning, all. And it really is morning for Love Minnie's because I know she's about 6 hours behind the UK. So it must be round about 6 in the morning. Build with Adrian says, and on Penny. So again, we know what you mean. Yeah, and that's the comment. So yeah, some people use tweezers for actually diamond painting. I'm trying to get a point where you can see it. Window, there you go. I use them just for adjusting drills. If I've placed a drill inside if you've got the surrounding bits done, all 8 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 8 sides, then this will dig in and pick it up. Sometimes I'll just move it. Because also what doesn't help is I'm a how do you phrase it? I'm a heavy stabber. I'm like bang. So to readjust sometimes you can readjust the drills with your pick me up or your diamond painting pen. Because I've stabbed them in so hard, it's a lot harder. So tweezers. Now, I've moaned last week about the tweezers that came with the diamond painting kit, didn't I? I've got to be honest with you, I hate these. These are absolutely awful. You can't pick anything up with them. So they do the job, but I use these tweezers, and these are, ironically, they come with Funnily enough, these came with a cheap diamond painting kit,
Yeah.
not an expensive one, which I find odd. You would think if it was cheap, everything would be cheap. But these actually, I cannot remember which ones they came with. Yeah, I'm trying to manipulate myself, and because I'm backwards on the screen, left isn't left anymore, is it?
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry. So what tweezers do you use? Have you bought tweezers, or do you use a set that came with a kit? Or do you use them?
I just use the tweezers just like you, just to adjust them, and it's the pointed ones from the Huacan kit, like what you've got.
Right. Yeah. And I think the last bit is the tray. This is a tray you get. I know there's different types of tray, but these seem to be the most common ones. The white, these are called boats. White boat with a spout, green one without a spout. I've got a white one without a spout, and I've seen various others. I quite like the look of the one with the spout on the corner, so it kind of goes out like that. And if you own a 3D printer, there is quite a lot out there on a site I use a lot called Thingiverse. Thingiverse is a repository for files. You download the file, you put it into your 3D printer, and you print it off, and you have a fancy boat. And I know there's a lady selling them on eBay. She's been sending out samples to some of the bigger diamond painters, and it seems to be getting really, really good reviews. It comes with a little scraper. The lines in there are a little bit deeper. The corner, it's got a little post in it, so it's not so flimsy. And there's a little plug, so they don't go flying everywhere. But what I've done is I've got two boats, cut the top off, glued it onto the top, and I've ended up with that.
Yeah.
And that works really, really well for me. The only drawback is, especially with me using the pick-me-up, which is blue tack, if I've got any blue tack on the actual drill, sometimes the drills get stuck in the bottom. Because there's a cover there, I don't notice. Then what happens is I put my next colour in. Then when I put those away when I finished, all the old colour goes into the pot. And the next time I go to use that colour, I'm like, why is there reds mixed in with my blues? And not the odd drill, it's like maybe 10 or 20 of them. So then I have to pick them all out and figure out what colour they are, or waste them. So tray-wise, what do you use?
I use the big boat.
The big, oh, that's a big boat, isn't it? How many of my boats could you fit into that boat?
2.5, 3.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I've got a transfer on the back of it that I got from the lovely Elizabeth Insley. I won a competition.
Okay. I must enter mind you, I don't enter competitions because I never win. But then I don't win them because I don't enter them. So it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get really disappointed when I don't win. So I just, in the end, there's no point in me entering. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to enter. So. Right. And is there anything you can think of that I haven't mentioned? Obviously, we introduced the light pad last week. So this is my light pad. And I do own a larger light pad. Dare I bring it into shot? So this is my larger one.
Wow.
Which it actually acts quite nicely as a clean board for my clean builds. So when I'm building models that are, not painting, for example, because paint gets all over the place. But it's a nice plain white board that I can put parts on. Because obviously, as you know, I don't do just diamond painting on my channel. But just out of interest, as anybody who watched last week, did you try the app for the light pad? And did you feel that a light pad is or is not for you? I know I've seen on Facebook groups, there's a lot of people who don't use will not use a light pad. And for me, it was to advise a light pad now becomes a sensitive subject, because I know if someone told me I need to go out and buy a light pad, and then I went out and spent my hard-earned cash on that light pad and then thought, actually, I'm better off without one, I would feel a little bit aggrieved that someone's advised me. So I wanted to make it really, really clear that you want to make sure it is better for you, which is why I advised the app. Because if you feel a light pad's no good for you, just delete the app off your phone. So I would be interested to know if anyone has either bought a light pad or decided that they don't need one based on the advice of the app. So are you a light pad? You're not a light padder, are you?
I am, yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, I've just put mine on one yesterday.
So you've probably got one size of the house, haven't you?
I've got an A4 and I've got an A3, but my A3 has got another project on it.
Right. So how do you feel about multi-projecting, having 2 or 3 projects on the go?
I usually don't.
Right.
I just usually have one diamond painting and then another craft.
Right.
Maybe like or something, but I don't like to have more than one diamond painting at a time.
Because when I first started, I had 2 on the go, one round and one square. And the box that I used to keep my little Tic Tacs in, I was getting in a little bit of a muddle. So I decided I'm not going to do 2. And then I started on my big wolf, which there's nothing to see anyway. I've only done the corner. And then obviously I'm now working on this because of the show. As you see, I've done my homework. I've done my 4 squares. In the end, I actually decided to go against how I go. And I just thought I'll do a strip. And then I just think for showing you guys, it's easier that way. But I'm in a slight muddle as a result of doing it this way. So I'm having to create a box. This box here contains only the diamond painting from for the show picture, and then I've got another box for my wolf, and then I put one completely away and bring this one out, and when this is finished with, that will get put well away and the other one will come out, and that's eased it a little bit. But again, interested to know, how do you guys feel? I imagine there's an argument in favor of, especially if you're doing a large one, if you do 2, because maybe you get a bit not bored, but bit mind numbing doing the same one. Let's have a break. Let's work on this one. So Danielle, may I just call you Danielle to save my embarrassment? But she says, I love my light pad, and she's gone to the trouble of doing a heart rather than just saying right. So she must really love her light pad. And she also says, I have 2 diamond paintings, 1 square, 1 round, and cross stitching. I don't do cross stitching anymore. I used to many years ago. I used to work, God, you're going to think I'm an awful worker. I used to do nights in a care home or residential home, where once I'd done all the tasks at the beginning of the shift, my main job for about 6 or 7 hours is just sitting there on standby should anything happen. So obviously you didn't want the telly on. I'm not into telly anyway, but obviously you don't want the TV on because you run the risk of waking people up. Plus it's noise that drowns out happenings. You know, if you're in the front room with your TV on and someone falls out of bed, you may not hear them, so you need the quiet. And someone introduced me to cross stitching, and you can kill a lot of time with that, can't you? Quite easily. It's also very good if you're a smoker, because I find that you can just work on a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've not had a cigarette in 4 hours. So you find yourself smoking a lot less. Also, I don't really like round diamond paintings as much. It's a personal preference. I prefer the squares, but squares also are harder because if you don't get them lined up quite right, they can look a little bit funny. Whereas a round one you can put in at any angle, so long as you get it in the right position. But it can be, if it's tilted 20 degrees, it's still the same, isn't it? So we have crossovers from other shows, which is fantastic. So Tony Evans says, hi Penny, hi Julie. Cheryl is watching your show at home. I'm awaiting my bus at work and thought I'd tune in till it arrives. Now, I believe Cheryl did an absolutely amazing diamond painting of a bus. I actually bought it as well. And what they've done is they kind of black and whited out the background, but kept the bus red, so it makes it more of a focal point. But it actually doesn't, although they've black and whitened the background, it actually seems to enhance it rather than pushes it out of focus, and it looks really, really nice.
Yeah, Cheryl did a great job. She did really well.
Yeah. I mean, I could show you, but all I can do is show you a canvas. So I won't. I mean, over the course of time, I'll have videos on my channel. Right, so Danielle has said, it's okay, it's Boudreaux. Boudreaux. Right, I will try to remember that. I must be getting old because I'm not good at remembering things, but believe me, I will be making an effort. And then Danielle Boudreaux says that she prefers the squares. And I think it's okay to have a preference. So anything else before we go on to the next bit?
There is another, but I don't know, people aren't using them as much now, because at one time there was a problem with drills that stuck together, and they came in the packets.
Yes.
The grinder,
which by coincidence I happen to own. Right. Can I leave you on full screen for a sec? I need about 20 seconds. I am sorting stuff out for the move, but I know where it is. Just bear with me one sec.
She's got to go hunt it down now. But yeah, just a reminder, those are the containers that I use out of the off-brand Elizabeth Ward containers, and I've just got them all stacked up ready. I've got some in a butter tub and then some more stacked up in there. So yeah, that's just basically how I've kitted up this time. So yeah.
Right, diamond painting grinder. So what we have is this. Not to be confused with, if your teenage son has one in his bedroom, don't think, oh, he's doing a lovely craft. So what it basically is a container with not really sharp spikes in. And then what we will do is, I'm going to pick one of these. Sometimes you get diamonds that are stuck together. I don't think that's a low quality drill. I think it's just where they come out of the process of making them. Obviously they're making so many, they might just get a little bit stuck together. And all you do is you just pop a few in like that. I'm trying my best here, but I don't want to tip this over. And then you pop the lid on, and it will close because there's a couple of magnets in there. And all you do is I'm assuming you can hear the noises.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a nice noise, actually. I actually don't use it because what I find when I put them into the, I mean, these are obviously all lovely separated now. See, now I've got to get these out.
Yeah.
And there's one stuck in there. 99% of the time, if they're stuck together, I'll just shake them so they're a little bit separated. Let me use the overhead camera. It'd be a lot easier, won't it? So if I come across any that are stuck together, most of the time I can get away with just put my finger on them quite hard and then just drag them. And that works for me. Now, I have also heard mention, I genuinely can't remember who said it, but they said that their dad told them to put them in a jar and put a nickel in or a coin. Obviously, he's American, so he'll put a nickel in and then give it a shake. And
yes, I know what you mean, yeah.
I cannot for the life of me figure the science out on that one, but if it works, that's fine. And we all know old men or older men have all the best DIY tricks, don't they?
Yes.
If you ever need to know anything, go and ask your granddad. He will have the answer.
Rosebud actually gives another suggestion. You could always place another tray on top and squish them together.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. I actually forgot. So yeah, what you do is you pop them into the tray and then you find another tray and then push them in. Obviously, you try and get the same tray, but push them in and then you can just do that and that works. Christine says that she puts a tray on top. So I just use my finger. But yeah, if you smash them together, and because the two trays are the same size, the top one stops them from flying out everywhere. Now, Queen of Diamonds Rosebud has said about the tea strainer to wash the static drills. I've had this, so it's worth bringing up. Greasy drills. Have you ever had greasy drills?
Yes.
They are a bit of a nightmare, aren't they? A lot of times you'll get them in a bag. Now, these are okay, but if you shake them and you see how these flow fairly easily from one end of the bag to the other, so they're fine. If they don't, it's because they're greasy and they're sticking to the bag. And what you need to do is wash them with whatever you use to wash your dishes. I think they call it something different in America, but we call it washing up liquid. Is it dish soap you call it in America? But whatever you use to wash your dishes, unless you put your dishes in a dishwasher, don't put your drills in a dishwasher.
No.
And then what I actually did, I didn't have a tea strainer. So what I actually did was I got the bag. This is not the best way to do it, but it works. I got the bag and I put 1 drop of fairy liquid in there. I filled it up with water. I closed it. I then massaged them in. I then tipped most of the water out. I put more water in, massaged them, and did this probably about 10 times until obviously all the fairy liquid had been removed. And then I tipped them out onto a piece of 2 pieces of kitchen roll. And then I just left them on and I put another piece of kitchen roll on the top. And I brought them up to my bedroom and I left them there I left them for about 3 days because I went to work the next 2 days. But overnight would be fine. And it is a bit of a nightmare. And the last one that I have not really dealt with myself, I have experienced it, and that's static in your drills. And I know that one of these pots that I have has bad static, and I can't remember which one it is. There we go. So you see that they're stuck to the bottom of the tub.
Yeah.
And that's because there's static in there. Now, I've heard mention, I've never actually done anything to solve it, but I've heard tumble dryer sheets and I have gone out looking for, I assume you get them in America. Lenore do these Unstoppables. There's these little balls that you just chuck in the tumble dryer. I've been looking for them, but haven't found any. Apparently, if you just pop one of those into your bag or your tub, but perhaps try and get a different color, 2 different colors, so you don't put the same color in with your drills. So you might try sticking Unstoppables to your design. So again, if anybody wants to disagree with that, we're always listening. This is our show, not mine and Julie's show. So Danielle, right, see if I can remember this now without looking. Danielle Bodrow, I'm going to look it up. I'm determined to get this right. Wow, do you know? It is Boudreaux. I'm so sorry. It's Boudreaux. Right, I will get it. We had a chap on the Rootmaster show. I think it took me about 2 or 3 months before I started to get his name right. So that's the standard I'm looking for. So yeah, Love Minis is confirmed. It's called dish soap in America. And yeah, so she's also said the problem with them sticking must be the temperature of the diamonds when packed. I would imagine that's these are produced in China. They're out to make as much because I guess the profit margins aren't there because they're so much cheaper. So they want to get them from the machine into the bag, bang. So they're probably going to be at least warm by the time they're packed. So Danielle Boudreaux says dish soap or dish liquid. Soap. Love Mini says you got help from a fairy. Complete change of subject. When I was a kid, in English once, we were given a picture and we were told to write a story based on the picture. And I got given a picture of these fairies in a cave. And I wrote about how this evil troll had captured all these fairies, and they made them, like through slave labor, made them make washing up liquid, and that's how fairy liquid came about, because it's actually made by enslaved fairies in the caves run by a troll. All sounds very silly now that I'm 40 odd years older, but Love Minis has done 3 attempts to spell fairy. We all go like that, don't we? So Danielle Boudreaux says, yes, that's a pain too, Static. We cut a piece. So you cut a piece of dryer sheet. Do you know what? I actually had visions of putting an entire dryer sheet into a tub that small. So you'd cut them up, 1 centimeter squares, perhaps smaller. But I am on the lookout for them. I because of what's going on in the world at the moment and all the social distancing, I tend to avoid the big supermarkets because I hate queues, and my little local corner shop just does just about everything I need. So I tend to go there, and they don't have static dryer sheets. So I might go to Asda or something one day and do this, all in the name of science. Right, so shall we look at, I know we brought it up before, but shall we look at block, what we mean by block and what we mean by confetti? And how I deal with it, how you may deal with it, and how anyone else might deal with it.
Yeah.
So may I steal the large screen then?
Yeah, go for it.
So I have, by coincidence, found a spot on my diamond painting that has both block and confetti. And it just happens to be not the position I would go for next, but it will be this one. Now, I still maintain this is terrible painting. It's got a very thick canvas, so the light pad doesn't work as well. And it's fuzzy on the symbols, but we will manage as best we can. So as you see, there's large areas, especially down here, going up to there, a patch there, and then all of these blue ticks where it's very much the same color. And then as you get into the middle and coming in from the above square, so let me just move that, you can see that there's not many of the same color. So this is known as block. And then all these small areas are known as confetti. So confetti as in what you throw over newlyweds, lots and lots of small pieces. And then obviously these are block. So we have tackled blocks before, but I'd like to do it again. Obviously, the bottom line is that you do your diamond painting however you want. I have seen people do the entire diamond painting in the first color, and then they go over it again in the second color, and then the third one, and they work their way down until they've done all of the colors. And that is absolutely fine if that's how they want to do their painting. But I like to try and work on colors, one color at a time, within a small block. And I always find that I will always miss drills out where I will think I've got all of them, and then I've missed one, and then I'll come back later and I'll discover which one I've missed. Now the first color that I always tackle is the color that comes to mind, the one that sticks out the most, or the one that gives me a convenient place. Now the blue actually springs out first, but I'm quite liking this red for the main reason that I can pop a piece of paper there. This is why I cut squares, because none of this area here contains the reds. So I can now put my hand there and it won't stick to the canvas. If I start there with no backing paper, can you see that my hand's sticking? So I'm actually going to work on the reds, and then as I do so, it will create a bit of a barrier for me. So I'm going to start on these, I'm going to call them equal signs. I tried to give my symbols nicknames, which is just my weird way of doing things. So got me drills in the tray, and I'm going to give it a shake. Now mine never looks as pretty as everyone else's, but I'm not worried about that. I just get it so that most of them are the way round that I want to work. And now that I've introduced it, I can now use my pick-me-up, can't I? Which makes me very happy. So I'm just moving the camera. Because this is this long, I can't have the camera too close, because as you can see, that's all you're going to get. So unfortunately, I do have to move it a little bit further across. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick the first one up. Sorry, I'm going to have to pause. I've got to change my glasses. I've got the wrong glasses on for hobbying. Sorry, I do apologise for that. I now wear, because I'm old, I'm now wearing varifocals, but I have one that is set up for VDU use, and I have another pair that are set up for driving, and I had my driving glasses on. So I'm going to hit the corner, which by coincidence is there, and then I'm going to place the next one, not next to it, but I'm going to miss one out. Okay, I know you can't see. Let me see if I can get. Right, that is the best I'm going to be able to do. The colors are a bit funny, but you can see I placed the first one there and the next one there, and the next one will be placed there. In actual fact, the next one along is actually a different color, so I would miss that one out anyway. But because I've already laid a drill down next to it, I'm kind of aiming for just to slightly overlap the drill, and then I can use that drill as a guide. But once that's all I can do on that line. So now what I'm looking at doing is placing the next one up and one across, to make a checker pattern. There you go. I think that's a better angle. But that one there actually isn't that color. So we'll place this one there. So you can see I've now got a little triangle.
Yeah.
And then this actually isn't the best place to demonstrate blocks, I'm afraid. But we're getting there. Now, some people work on one diagonal line and they go all the way up and then they do the next line. I tend to work in straight lines, straight up and down lines. Like I'll work that way, then up, then down, but how you do it is fine. So and what I like about this method is, although you're not fully covering it, you are covering a lot of area a lot quicker. So it feels like you're making more progress. Even though you've got to go back and fill the gaps in, I do feel like I'm making progress very quickly. In reality, it doesn't take me it's no quicker time. But it feels like it. It gives you a little sense of achievement. So, and that's that bit really. So I'll move up to this block here. This will be slightly better. I'm really sorry that the lighting, I've still got to work the lighting out. The lamp I have is actually very, very good for working with, but not so good for broadcasting with. So oh, got in a model. Doesn't matter if these aren't done exactly right, you're just covering some of them. Right, so that's, I did pick a really bad color actually. Oh, can you see there that drill? It's now got blue tack on it. That's the disadvantage with the pick-me-up. It's easy to pick the blue tack off. You just stab it with a pen and it just pulls the blue tack off, but it does happen. That's because I probably twisted this slightly too much. So I do find myself scraping at that end. Right, so now you have a choice. You can now go in and fill those gaps in that you've left, or you can carry on working on the next bit. And if you leave those until the end, that actually now gives you can see that my finger isn't sticking because the drills that have been laid is now protecting the sticky pad. So I will quite often go all the way through half, just blocking it. Then I'll work on the rest. And then I'll fill that bit in, the rest of it last. But I will now show you why blocking is satisfying. Because now when you go into the middle there, I'm going to go into there. You can't really see it. I'm really sorry about these camera angles. And now there we go. Right, so I'm going to place one there. Now, because you've got one either side above it and below it, if you go in too high or if you go off center, it will kind of be blocked by one that you've already placed. So as you come in, it will just pull, it will direct it. And then you will feel, it's better with squares, you get kind of a click.
Yes.
Not quite so much with rounds. Now this one is, I've only got two sides. So what I'll do is I'll place it by going in that way. And you see, don't know if you saw this one move, but I placed it slightly too high. So it gave me a kind of a visual indicator. And then we just fill in the gaps. And we're now using the drills that we've already placed as guides. And then if one of those other ones, like if this one there has been placed slightly too low, as you push this one in, it will push that one slightly up into place. And this is why I would imagine, I certainly do, I do enjoy lots of block. Not too much, because more block equals less detail. And I do like when the colours gradually change. Another good thing about blocking is because I'm right-handed, I have trouble laying drills from the left, because I want to come in like this, and it's not natural to hold my pen that way. Because I've now blocked it, I can now come in more straight, and then I'll use those 2 drills that I've already laid to kind of slide it into place. So you're able to come in from all the angles that you want to, that much easier. So did that make sense?
Yes.
And that is almost that block complete.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you about confetti, for the reason being that I don't think there's really for me, I think confetti is more what it is rather than how to deal with it. I don't think there's a technique to do confetti other than tip the drills out in the tray, place 1 or 2, put drills back in tray, and get next color out.
Yeah, that's basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if you have them in the containers like I have, you just stab into the pot and just pick it out.
I'm glad you said that. I really am glad, because something that I do that I actually thought was bad technique. If you've got one color, all I do is just jab my pen in there, remove the excess. If that's the wrong way round, I take it off, put it on my fingertip, and and I feel that's more than enough effort to get a single drill out.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad technique then.
It's not, no.
I just think that if I was to say to people, right, if you only got one drill, just stab the whole lot. There you go. That one's actually come out the right way. And that's all I do. If I've got 1 or 2, that's how I do it. Otherwise, I'm tipping them all out, and then I'm and then I 1, 2. Because you know what it's like. If you try to, especially if you've got these pots that are full, trying to tip just 1 or 2 out is, you're not going to get 1 or 2. You're going to get 1 or 200, aren't you? Yeah. And then when you get 1 or 200, you get 1 or 200 short. So I'm really happy that that's not a bad technique then.
It's not, no.
Oh, brilliant. But then don't we always say whatever works best for you?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's block. I'm going to do another block now. I'm going to fill all this blue in, because I think blue was the better way to go anyway, because it's so prominent against the other colors. And that is, by coincidence, everybody's favorite color.
Oh, no.
What is everybody's favorite color?
Do you want me to say? 310.
Go on then. Go on then. 310.
310, yeah.
Actually, we've got a bit of a bumblebee effect in there. Now, when you get a rogue or 10 drills, they're the wrong colors. What do you do with them? Do you throw them, or do you sit there for hours trying to find the correct pot for them?
I just put them in a trash tray. Yeah, I'll just have a little tray beside. Just quickly with Mr. Camplin in. Hello, Chris.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing every other drill. Oh, I missed one there. Look, I'm doing every other drill to make a checker pattern. Block and checker is 2 words that will go together. So if someone says I'm going to do a checker pattern, don't think it's a different technique from block. It is exactly the same. It's just what they're called. It's like drills and diamonds. For some reason, I don't like the word diamond because these aren't diamonds, but they have a diamond effect, which is obviously why it's called diamond painting. So I tend to use the word drills, and being a hard presser, I think drill is a very good word because I really drill those into the canvas, which is probably a bad technique. So can you see how quickly I'm covering area? And I just feel I've done so much more, even though I haven't.
Yeah.
And straight away, I can see what the color's going to be. That's really good. I should have shown you that right from the beginning, because that is such a nicer color to block with. I get it doesn't matter if your blocks don't match this one over there, but I'm like, yeah, mine has to. But I think this hobby does appeal to the OCD in all of us, doesn't it?
Yes.
We all know. So when I said about coming in from the left, and I find that awkward, because you're placing your first one virtually on its own, you don't have the problem of coming in from whatever angle. The other thing I want to stress is, if I am faster at doing this than you are, do not think you're doing it wrong or you think you're doing it badly. I am much faster than the first time I ever did this, and I suspect I'm slower than some of the guys that have been doing it for years. But being a money pincher by nature, I like doing it slower because it's better value for money.
Yeah.
Can you remember the figures I gave you with my last diamond painting? It was quite an expensive one. I think it was about, did I say it was about £50? But the number of hours that I put into it, it actually worked out as something like £1 an hour, or maybe even less. And I know another friend of ours, she said, well, actually, if you put it like that, it's quite a cheap hobby.
Yeah.
A beginning outlay of £50 would make it sound expensive. But I think that's the only drawback with the diamond painting. It costs you a lot to get started. You know, this was only £20 for 4, which is very cheap. But you know, it's taken. I did count these. This particular square there took me an hour and a half, just under an hour and a half. There was lots of color changes. This one was a little bit quicker, but this whole patch down here, which I've just noticed I haven't actually finished. I've missed this bit down the bottom. But this whole line there took me about 4 hours, which is roughly what my estimate was going to be. So 4 blocks by 4 blocks at roughly an hour each block, 16 hours. So £18 for 4 paintings, that's £4.50 each, with 16 hours to complete it. I think that works out at a very reasonable cost.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So do you want me to finish these blocks like I did on the red, or should I move on to a different color? I quite like moving on to different, because you see there, look, if I touch there, the finger's stuck to the painting. If I touch there, it's not. So it kind of helps protect it. So if I go up to here, you can see I'm going to get stuck. That's why I only do half the block and then I go back to it.
Right, yeah, do as you do.
Should we do a different one then?
Yeah.
And I've got the wrong boat as well, but you see how my drills are flying all over the place. And they're jumping off as well. So I will go back to my normal boat. Another good, whoa, I just dropped my drills just there. But Love Minis will tell you, if I'm not dropping things all over the table, it's not a good stream. Oh, do you know what? I did a video quite a long time ago, and I had flux, was it liquid flux? And the bottle tipped over.
Oh,
And
no.
I tried to be a professional and continue with the recording, but as I'm doing, you could see this liquid slowly coming in around here, and I just looked at it and I thought, I've got to finish this. I mean, I was pre-recording, so it wasn't so bad. If it had been a live stream, it would have been a bit of a disaster. I would have had to say, oh, but then that's one of the advantages of co-host. When you have a problem, I'm giving away my secrets now, aren't I? When I have a co-host and there's a problem, I'll just hand the show over to the co-host and get my camera turned off.
Yeah.
So I am sorry about picking these up. If I don't do them now, they'll become a problem for me later. So
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Right. So I've lost my 310. There we are. So the reason this is my preferred one is I can now bang that pretty much as hard as I want, and they're out because that little lip does protect it. So shall we do? We've got 2 different greens there, and another one there. But this is around there. It's becoming a little bit more confetti. I'll tell you what, I'll do color number 9, which is going to bring it all in there. And that's how I would look at it. Is a big space of nothing there. So I'll try and get some block in on what they've labeled as number 9, which is color 921, which is actually the very same strip as the 310s. So I've just put that away for nothing. And it's giving us a different color, which keeps it visually stimulating, I think.
Yeah.
So number 9. Am I still in? Yeah, I am still in shot. I tried an experiment today. This is what you've all got to look forward to, I hope. I'm looking at doing reviews, but I would like to actually show me actually doing the diamond painting. Now obviously if the whole thing is going to take me 60 hours or something to do it, that's going to be a rather long video, isn't it? And I certainly couldn't do 60 hours worth of. I'm going to have to fill this in because there aren't actually as many 9s as I thought. This is pushing to be confetti. So yeah, 60-hour video is rather long, and I wouldn't have the time to take 60 hours off and do pure diamond painting. So obviously I'm going to speed it up. Now, obviously, when you're speeding things up, you're losing frames because you're converting from 30 frames per second to 3,000 frames per second. But I actually recorded myself. Also, I've got a new PC, so I'm trying out the PC. I'm pushing it to the limits and seeing what I can do on the new PC that I couldn't do on the old PC. And trust me, I can do so much more on the new PC. The software I use for recording is called OBS, and what you do is you record on it, and then you hit the stop record button, and it all goes grey while it's processing. And on the laptop, to record a so I was just reading a comment as I was saying, which is really bad of me. So if I did a 5-minute recording and then I hit the stop recording button, it all grays out processing for about 30 seconds. And this morning I recorded for a whole hour and it took less than a second to process it. That's how much better my new PC is. It's not that my new PC is awesomely great, actually. Well, it is really, really good. But my laptop was, I've had it 4 or 5 years, and it was 2 or 3 years old secondhand when I bought it. So it's done very, very, I love my laptop. It owes me nothing. but it is time to retire it. So it is now very close to being retired. Should I do another color? No, I'm going to have to stop there because look at the time.
We're over an hour, yeah?
Yeah, so right, so that is blocking, and you see how on the black ones I've done nice blocks, and that kind of gives me a guide for when I put the next ones in, and it might push those out when I push the next, because I think they're as straight as I can get them. That one might be slightly out, but once I get the ones in between in, it will push things, and it kind of arranges them a little bit. Confetti is, there's a really good example. You've got stars there, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's that? A lot of confetti, is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, so when you're doing little bits, and it can get a bit. There's a really good example at G. There's only one of them. Oh, we got some more stars down there. Oh, there's a G there as well. So on that entire square, you've got, let's be conservative and say maybe there's 4 Gs on the whole. Which 4G is terrible because it's all 5G now, isn't it? Da-da! Did you see what I did there? Right, so let's change my camera to me because we're going to wrap up the show. Obviously, we like to go through the comments. So we have, I think Chris Campling is playing a little bit. I'll tell you why in a moment. So let's see if I can remember her name. Danielle Boudreau. Please tell me if I got that wrong. Boudreau. I'm sorry. I learned through repetition, but it takes a hell of a lot of repetition. It's just, I'm brilliant in other areas. That's how I like to phrase it. So Love Minis, we can clean TV screen with a used dryer sheet and it gets rid of static. Never thought of that one. So Queen of Diamonds, Rosebud, you don't need to tell us when you're going. It's not like, oh, please, miss, can I go to the toilet? Anyone who just pops in for a couple of seconds, they're fine. If everyone watches the whole show, that's brilliant. We love you all. You know, I suspect there's people watching the show that haven't commented. Maybe you don't want to comment. Maybe you can't comment. That's all fine. So Chris Campling, hi everyone. And then we have Chris Campling, hi everyone. And then he's put, how are you, streaming on both channels. That's why I think he's having a bit of fun. I think those two hi everyone's have come from the different channels. But no, that's fine. So what we're doing is we are using a program that's capable of streaming on multiple platforms. I don't quote me on the facts. I think we can go right up to 8 different channels at once,
I believe,
which is rather handy because I was planning on doing an occasional show with someone absolutely nothing to do with crafting whatsoever. It's something completely and utterly different. And obviously it was a case of, well, whose channel do we put it on? Do we make a new channel? But then if we make a new channel, we've got 0 audience to start with, you know, but that would maybe a better option, and this, that, and the other. And by being able to stream to multiple platforms, it now means we can go everyone's channel. So it means we can reach more people. I suspect there may be people come here to watch me. There's people come to watch Yorkshire Crafter, but they're getting both of us, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, anyway. I'm not that bad, am I? So, Love Minis, we all get to drink when she drops. Yeah. Yeah. So Chris Campling, I want to stream on Chris's and mine at the same time like you. How do you do that? Chris, drop me a message or one of the gang and I will explain it. Obviously, this we can do technical videos. Mark's Mods has done some really good videos on how he makes videos, and I plan to do that as well. But obviously, this is obviously focusing on this particular topic. So I'm quite happy. I will do a video on it, and I will share with. But just drop us a message on Facebook for now. So Penny, do it like you did putting shelves up. A couple of years ago, I was using Twitch a lot more, and what I did was I rearranged all of my room and I put all these shelves up. And what I did was I broadcast the whole thing on Twitch. I'd put the computer up with the camera up on one shelf, and I had it going down so you could see all the shelving I was doing. But I had jukebox on as well, so the audience could type in songs and it would play songs. So what I was basically doing was saying, you choose the music I do my room to. And then I downloaded that footage, speeded it up, and put it onto YouTube, and with the theme from Benny Hill. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. However, I got a copyright warning for that. I was lucky not to get a copyright strike. So I took that video down and edited it with a copyright-free version of something that sounded very similar to Benny Hill. And it was still funny, not as good, but it was... If anybody's watched Benny Hill and you see them all running at the end, that was me putting shelves up. And I had these shelves, they went... It was really good. So Chris Camling says, I'm giving both of you equal watching, which is the nicest thing you could possibly do, Chris Camling.
Thank you.
And Danielle Boudreau says that we have it right. I will get it wrong next week because I'll have had a week to forget about it. Or I won't get it right next week because I'm not broadcasting next week, am I?
No, we're not.
So Dave says, great show, everybody. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Yep.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And then Mark Smod says, you can't stream to 2 channels on the free version of StreamYard. Yeah, StreamYard has 3 levels of membership. You have the free version. So you get things like, I can't point over there because Julie, can you just point above your left head like that? Other side. There'll be an image there that says StreamYard with a picture of a duck. That's the free version. This one you can do a little bit more fun stuff. In fact, I mentioned the green screen, didn't I?
You did.
So I've got a... This is one, as I know Dave says watching. Dave say, this is just for you. This is a background that I'm going to use on a certain show. Now, obviously, there'll be a green screen behind me, so you'll see me. But because I haven't got the screen, I've got to show you with a green tray, which means I'll disappear. Dave say, this background is just for you.
Look at that.
So yeah, so we'll obviously, like, if you've got things going on in the background, maybe you're streaming from your bedroom and you don't want people to see your bed, have a little screen behind you. I mean, this is what I've ordered from Amazon. It should have been 80 quid, but I'm making my own for about 20. And yeah, I couldn't resist. I've gone and bought it. So that will be coming in the next few days. So yeah, I think it just makes the show look a little bit effortlessly better. Right, so we have planned the next show, haven't we? Have we planned the next show? Yes. So, guys, next weekend, not this week. I'm working this weekend. Now, next weekend, I'm moving house. I'm moving on the 31st. My next days off from work would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It'd be my long weekend. So we'd possibly be talking about a stream on Friday or Saturday. Well, Saturday won't happen, will it? Because that's your special day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we would possibly be looking at Friday stream. However, I'm Sorry, I picked my phone up. As soon as I switch it on, all these messages come through, and I recognise certain notifications. And one of the notification was you have received money, because it's payday for me today. So next week I'm actually going to be away for 4 days. I'm actually moving 160 odd miles away. So I'm going down on the Friday with a hire van. Saturday, Sunday, we're packing everything into the van. Monday, we're off to see some friends up north and then coming back. And then we're back on Tuesday morning. So we've actually set the next show conveniently for Thursday, because I'm actually on holiday for 2 weeks. Although it's not really holiday. I didn't request holiday because I'm a contract worker. I don't have to ask for. This is one good thing about being a contract worker. I don't have to ask for holiday. I tell them when I'm not coming in, and it's nice. I just went, yep, I'm not coming in first 2 weeks of August, and they went, okay, and that's absolutely fine to do that. Obviously, if I said that every week, and I've got to give notice to be convenient. So the next show we have purposely made for exactly 2 weeks from now, with exactly the same start date to make it a little bit more convenient. And we will perhaps try to remember to give more notice on the stream rather than setting the show up like 32 minutes before the show starts. I might actually set it up the night before or the morning. So a couple more comments. Dave say enjoyed the show. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Christine says wow, and Dave says wow face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, and Christine says another great show. How do you feel confidence wise now, Mrs. Crafter? We talk a lot about nerves, and I was extremely nervous on the first show, and I'm so much more at ease now on the third show. I'm just wondering how you are.
I'm getting better. I feel like I'm doing a lot of stopping and starting. You know, the conversation's not. It doesn't come easy to me.
It will come. Chemistry is an awkward thing. We will. I think actually, I don't think we've interrupted each other much today. I don't think we've interrupted at all. I think we did once or twice on the first show. We'd never streamed together, so we don't really know how each other operates. But what will happen over time is I will just know that you might want to do this, that, or the other. So I will allow that to happen, and then you will know I want to do something, so you will allow it to happen. And it's that chemistry needs to be built up over time. Those of you that watch the Rootmaster show, when I first did it with Horlicks, it was a good show. I think it was good, but it's so much better later because we're the chemistry. And Mark's Mods and Dave Say and that has taken over the show, and they have more people on the show. And you know, you think about it, sort of 4, 5, 6 people on the show, absolute nightmare. But they've established that chemistry, and they work really well together. And it's just something that we have to build up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get told off next time I'm in work. I have a very good friend who she had suggested after stream 1 that an hour was too long. I took on board her comment. I personally disagree, but I said I will try to make it shorter. And show number 2 was exactly 1 minute and 1 second shorter. So I was able to go into work and go, ta-da, I made it shorter just for you. But this one I think is about 7 minutes longer than last week. So I think I won't be getting a sausage roll and a Danish pastry offer this week. So, but she is an absolutely lovely lady. She knows who she is, and she is wonderful in heart, spirit, and whatever, everything else. Right. So as you opened the show, so I'm getting in the swing of this now. Danielle Boudreau says, yes, great show. I've got it wrong again now, haven't I?
Thank you.
Build with Adrian, very good show, both of you.
Oh.
So I'm going to let you close the show. So I shall say goodbye to everyone. Thank you very much for everyone that was watching. The viewing figures, I think they've gone up. So we are now actually able to, mind you, that's Yorkshire Crafter, because see, I've nicked her viewers. Mind you, she's nicked mine. So so thank you very much, everybody. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike if you dislike it. But I do appreciate constructive criticism. If you don't like the show, drop. I'm not going to bite. Tell me why. Tell me how I can improve it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell icon. All the usual stuff that everybody says. And I will see you in 2 weeks. And I will let Yorkshire Crafter. You also have control of the end broadcast button.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching this live stream with those two crazies. But
yeah. So true.
So remember, guys, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Bye.